Hi, everybody, and welcome to Community Journal. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you tuning in. We've got a very interesting show today, a rather long show, actually,
Yes,
and
yes.
with
Lots
some
of information.
lots of information. So have your pencil and paper handy because we have a lot of information to share with you. And of course, we are now getting into toward the end of October, but you'd never know it by the weather. It's just amazing. We're almost breaking records with the temperatures. And again, we are very dry as far as rain. We've not had any rain. We don't expect rain for several days. So, just be careful again out there if you're doing any kind of, fires or burning of leaves, which I don't think they're even dropping yet, which is amazing. This is the latest they've ever been. A lot of people have said, my goodness, we've gone for fall foliage, and a lot of it hasn't even turned yet. So,
Yeah, they said it's one of the latest seasons for fall foliage.
yeah,
It's
it
just
really is.
starting, I guess,
Well, the
up
weather's
north,
been so
up in
warm. It's
Bangor,
been
Maine.
incredible.
Yeah.
It really has. So, but anyway, that's the way it goes. There's nothing we can do about it. We'll enjoy summer weather in October.
Yes, and we'll be glad to have it because judging from the announcements that we have to make during the show, there's a lot of November dates already.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I can't believe we're
know.
talking about that already.
Yeah, and holidays.
And
and
holidays. Oh, don't say that.
No.
Well, our first clip today is a rather important one. The Council on Aging update with Judy Wilson and Dinah. So let's take a look and get caught up with that right now.
Hello, I'm here today with Judy Wilson from the COA in Harwich, and she is the newly appointed Executive Director. I'm delighted to make her acquaintance and to learn something about what's going on at the COA under her guidance this year.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the fact that we have a new newsletter coming out, and that'll be mailed probably by the end of next week to people who are on our mailing list. We had to do a little bit of a redesign with the newsletter because we are receiving a budget cut from the state, and that is part of the grant that funds our newsletter. So people are going to notice that it looks considerably different. We are eliminating color, and we've tried to condense our information in order to make it a little bit of a shorter publication in order to reduce the cost of it, and which we were able to do. So people will be getting something that looks very different, but it will have a lot of information in it. And we've tried to make it in as readable a presentation as we can for those that found reading in color difficult. The other thing that we are doing is that we are going to publish some of it in large print so that if people have difficulty reading the print, we will have copies here in large print that people could request to be mailed to them. So that's new.
How do you distribute that newsletter, Judy?
So the newsletter is distributed by mail. We have copies here. We bring copies on the bus when we transport people. We'll have them at all the events, and they're always here in the community center. Anybody who's a resident of Harwich, 60 or older, can get the newsletter for free. Non-residents, we ask that they come in and pick it up. Or if somebody is participating in activities on a regular basis, we would make an exception and make sure that they get the newsletter as well.
Okay, great. And I'm assuming the newsletter will have all kinds of information about new activities and old activities that are being reinstituted?
Yeah, we have, you're going to see all of the same things that we've done for a long time that are successful. We have our breakfast program, a men's and a women's breakfast. The women's is now a regular event, and the men's has been a very successful event. We won't have those events in November because of the holidays that fall on Fridays, which is typically our breakfast days, but you'll see the dates of that in the newsletter for December, and both of the breakfasts will have special holiday music, so that will be exciting. But we have some new programs starting as well. We are collaborating with the Masonic Angels Foundation, and we are going to be really trying to get a successful laptop for seniors program off the ground here. And what that is that we request donations of used laptops for people. They bring them in, and volunteers from the Masonic Angels Foundation will refurbish the program, refurbish the device, and then load it with different software, and we can provide them at no cost to people of need. And then, of course, we are Wi-Fi, the library's Wi-Fi, and we have some information about affordable internet access for people who live in subsidized housing. So because so many people are really relying on technology now for communication, we think that this is an important program to get off the ground here. And
Yeah, it sounds like a great program. And do you give seniors some help with their technical needs?
we do, and we're going to be really working with the library. We're part of our efforts are really trying to collaborate with local resources and make sure that we're bringing as much information as we can to the community. So while we're rolling out the laptop for seniors, we're going to be working with the staff of the Brooks Free Library to provide 2 different programs here at the Council on Aging. One of them is going to be what we call Tech Cafe, and every month we are going to roll out a new technology platform, a topic of some kind that's relevant. It might be email, it might be how to video conference with family members who don't live close by. It's a good way to stay in touch with grandchildren. It might be learning how to get craft information on the internet and what the great sites are to do that. It might be travel sites. So we're working with them, and each one of those programs will happen monthly, and there'll be a demo of the technology and then an opportunity for questions and answers. And the other thing that we're going to do monthly is the device advice. And the library does this at the library, but we're going to bring the service to the seniors here just to make sure that this is a comfortable way to kind of ask questions. And you get individualized service with one of the librarians. And you can bring in your device, whether it's an iPad, an e-reader, a laptop, an iPhone, and get your questions answered on an individual basis.
And that will be announced as a certain date where people will be able to do that?
Yes, both of those things will happen monthly, and the information will be in the newsletter, and the dates will be on the calendar that we publish as well.
Okay, great. That sounds very useful. I know a lot of people who could use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have some other new programs also. I don't want everybody to think we're all technology here, because we're certainly people-oriented, and that's very important to us. Another important program that we have coming up is that we are doing a holiday support group. This time of year can be very challenging for somebody who's lost a loved one this year, and the holidays, there's so much pressure to be joyful and spend time with family, and so that can be really challenging. So we are going to be sponsoring a holiday support group for those who are dealing with loss issues over the holidays. And that information will be in the newsletter as well, and that's an important group to be aware of. Another really important program that we're doing is November has traditionally been Alzheimer's or Dementia Awareness Month. So we are going to be working with the Cape Cod Alzheimer's Family Support Center to offer memory screenings. So this is an opportunity for people to come in if they have some questions about whether something is normal or not normal. Is it normal to kind of forget this? Is it normal to not know this? And so if they have questions, they can sign up for a screening, and somebody will come in from the Alzheimer's Family Support Center and spend some time with them, and then if there are issues or concerns, recommend a follow-up for that. So that's a really important program that we're excited to be offering in November here.
Yes. Is that new, or is that something that's been done here before?
I know that in my past, I have really facilitated programs like this in the past. I mean, part of aging is dealing with change, and some change is expected and some change is not expected. And this is a good way to find out. I'm a chronic to-do list maker myself, and I joke a little bit in the office and at home that I should have bought stock in Post-it notes, because if I don't write it down, I forget it. So, but some people, that's not normal for them, and so they want to know, is this something I should be concerned about? And that's really what these screenings are meant to do, is to let people know whether something is concerning or whether it's not concerning. And I would say probably half of the appointments that I've been involved in the past, people learn that what's happening is normal, and so that's a good thing. It's good to feel kind of self-assured.
Yes, yes.
So we have a couple of other new programs coming up also, and which I'm very excited about. We're going to be starting cooking classes here at the Council on Aging, and those are going to be monthly. So we have a couple of cooking classes coming up in November and December. One is about easy party appetizers, and that's going to be our November class. And the other one is going to be a heartwarming holiday brunch. And the information on that will be in the newsletter. But that's one of the things that we're trying to do is make sure we offer a little bit for everybody here, so that we're offering fitness classes and kind of human service type programs and recreation and opportunities to address really what the needs are as we grow older, which are, you know, the need to stay engaged. And so it's important that we offer different kinds of programs to make sure that we have something for everybody.
Well, there's always a need for good food.
There's always a
And
need
so
for good
the
food,
cooking
right?
classes sound
Right.
like great fun
Yeah.
as well as useful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so that's very exciting. We also, we have a movie license, and so we are going to also start showing movies here on a
yes.
monthly basis. And I have had success with this in my past. I'm a bit of a movie buff. And so we're going to be showing some kind of new DVD release type movies. I'm an Oscar kind of nerd, so I follow that. So we'll be showing those when they start getting released on DVDs in the new year. But in November, we're going to be showing a new DVD release called The Glass Castle. And that's a movie that is based on what was a very popular book in book groups. So a lot of people may want to come see that.
And a true story.
And a true story, yeah, a very
Yes.
moving story,
Very,
actually.
yes.
Yeah, and I read the book and loved it, and I liked the movie. And for me, whenever you read a book and you watch a movie, sometimes things don't translate, but the visuals in the movie I thought were as I had pictured when I read the book.
I think the
so.
movie was very well
Yeah,
done.
so that was
Yes.
exciting. And then the movie for December will be The Big Sick, which is has a little bit of Oscar buzz in terms of the performances in the movie. So that's going to be, we'll serve refreshments, popcorn, and so it'll just be a fun, relaxing kind of social program to do.
And
so
that's
we're
an
excited about
afternoon.
that.
What day of the week do you have planned?
I think
Do you
they're
know?
on Tuesdays.
Tuesday
The dates
afternoon?
will be in the newsletter,
Okay.
and we'll be doing that at least once a month, so that's very exciting.
Yes.
Looking forward to
Yes,
that.
That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so do you have anything else in mind moving forward?
Well, there's been a lot of transition at the Senior Center. I'm new. I've been here for about 6 weeks now, and our executive assistant, Marie Carlson, is new. And so we're really kind of learning the ropes together. We are pleased, to have followed such cherished staff members, so that there are things in place, tools for us to use. And now we're working on what kind of a stamp we really want to put on things. So, there's been a little bit of a learning curve in terms of kind of the details of the office, which we're working with, but the staff has been really wonderful. We're meeting on a regular basis. We're trying to kind of set some goals for ourselves for the coming year. And the other thing I've been doing is I've been meeting with seniors. I've had a number of seniors come in and ask to meet with me to talk about some of the issues that they feel are important or programs they would like to see. And certainly that feedback is really important.
Must be great.
So it helps
Yeah.
keep us focused really on the community, which is why we're here, and make sure that we're serving the people that are relying on us for services.
Yeah.
So
It's really
That's
good to
good.
get input from the people
very
you're
good.
serving.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And as the other thing that we're probably looking at, in the next few months is really looking at our transportation program. Transportation is one of the top 3 needs for seniors, and it's been that way for 30 years. I worked at Elder Services when I first moved to the Cape back in the late 80s, and it came up on a survey done by the Area Agency on Agency then, and it came up again as a top need in the last year. And so what we know is that over these 30 years, we have more seniors living on the Cape, and people are living in the community longer. And so transportation, although the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority and Councils on Aging are doing much more for transportation than we used to do, the demand has increased steadily. So it really means that we have to continue to improve our services. So that's going to be one of the areas that we really focus on in the coming months. So, but I'm looking forward to that. I know that we will work collaboratively with our friends who are looking at purchasing a bus and try and make sure that we are offering, the best services for Harwich seniors.
Well, that's great, and we are delighted to have you here. Congratulations on your new job, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much. Everybody's been wonderful. It's one of the things I had told somebody is that when you start a new job, you really expect to have to put yourself out there and reach out to people, but I've been just so pleasantly surprised by the fact that so many people have really reached out to me. So it really shows me that people are invested in the Council on Aging, and that's a great environment to work in.
It's a great community.
Yeah, very much so.
So thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
Again, this is Judy Wilson from the COA.
Well, thank you very much, Judy and Dinah, for bringing us up to date. That was very informative.
Yes,
We
it
appreciate
certainly
that
was.
very, very much.
Yes.
And I can't believe that we're already going to be talking about this, but it is not too soon to think about our troops overseas.
Oh, yes.
And each year there's a great effort that tries to go on to help those men and women that are out there protecting us. The Harwich Community Center will be partnering with the Cape Cod Cares for Our Troops, and they're going to be holding a collection drive for our troops. They've been sending care packages to our deployed troops since 2005, supporting our Blue Star families, our veterans, our wounded warriors, and honoring our Gold Star heroes and their families. We need your donations to show our soldiers, our sailors, airmen, and Marines that they are not alone. So they welcome any donations that you're able to contribute, and we'll mention some of the things that they could really use. The collection does take place here at the Community Center. You can drop your donations off at the Community Center in the specified donation boxes that are located in the front lobby. And the collection end date is November 14th. So they do need the items before November 14th. So, and one of the things that you might not think of to donate are personal letters of appreciation for all that these folks do for our country and for us. They're often the most cherished items in the care packages. So, just a few lines. People don't tend to write anymore, but this really is cherished by them, a personal letter of thank you for those folks putting their life on the line for us every single day. Now, some of the things that they could really use, I'm not going to read the whole list, but there's just many, many items, but the hats and gloves, mini battery-powered fans. There's a lot of those around. They're very small, and they could be very, very helpful. And also, there's a lot of very small flashlights now that are very bright. And, a battery lasts a long time. They use these LED bulbs now. And the lights are very inexpensive, and they're very effective. So that would be a good thing. They're quite available now. For a few dollars, you can pick up one of these things, and they work really well. They can use eye drops, foot powder, body lotions, mouthwash, Q-tips. I mean, just anything that you can think of. If you need more information, you can call at 508-430-7568. That's 508-430-7568. Let's give our troops out there a little boost by sending them a little something for the holidays.
Yes, very important. I mean, we all love to be appreciated and not taken for granted, and I think we sometimes forget
We do.
that our military are fighting, as you said, every day for us, for our country. And I think it's very important that we let them know that we really appreciate what they do.
Absolutely. Eileen, over to you.
Yes, and I have an important announcement here from the Lower Cape Community Housing Organization. This is for interested persons who have adult children or adults 22 plus who would like to get involved in a brand new housing community called Lower Cape Housing Community, it's called. It will be on Cape Cod for adults 22 plus with any type of disability who can function by themselves, live on Cape Cod, and wish to reside in a unit. Please get involved by coming to their next meeting on Thursday, October 26th, right here at the Harwich Community Center at 4 p.m. And they will be not only asking you to attend the meeting, but maybe give some thought to giving input as to how it should be done and so forth, but also to help them get funds to buy the property, build the complex, and start the program. And it's such an important need.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of adults with disabilities age out at 22 from the programs that are provided, and they really can't function on their own, but they want to be independent from their families.
this
And
is
if they're
very
able to
important.
do it, I think this is a very important thing. So once again, it's going to be here on Thursday, October 26th, which is next week, I believe, at 4 p.m.
Yeah?
Yeah, and you can RSVP by calling Jeff at 774-237-0696.
Wow, very good. Thanks, Eileen. And on the 24th of October, this is an opportunity for you to vote on whether or not the Cape Cod Tech is going to be funded. You know that they're talking about either refurbishing or rebuilding or replacing Cape Cod Tech, and voters from Mashpee to Provincetown are going to have an opportunity to voice their opinion on this. So this is October 24th. The polls will be open from 12 to 8 p.m. So this is an opportunity to make your voice heard, to let folks know how you feel about this. And you know, it's a different day for voting. We don't really associate October for a voting day. So mark it on your calendar, October 24th, an opportunity to vote on the Cape Cod Tech situation, whether or not you want it to be replaced, rebuilt, or not. Voters from Mashpee to Provincetown are going to be given that opportunity. Polls will be open from noon to 8 p.m.
Mark your calendars.
Absolutely.
It's an important vote.
It sure is. And the Cape Cod Theater Company, the home of the Harwich Junior Theater, is about to embark on probably one of the greatest shows.
I know.
It really is. Little Shop of Horrors
Yes.
is really an entertaining show. And we're going to find out a little bit more about it because Nina and Dinah sat down together to give us an overview of what's going on over there. So let's take a look.
I'm here today with Nina Schessler, who is the artistic director
Right.
of the Cape Cod Theater Company, home of the Harwich Junior Theater. And we want to talk a little bit about what the season is going to bring this year. We're excited about the upcoming show and all the others, as well as other things you do there.
Thank you, Dinah. Well, opening Friday, we have Little Shop of Horrors, which is just a hoot. We have incredible singers, actors. It's hysterically funny. Jim Byrne, who's a veteran director, he also directed for many years the Gold Dust Orphans, and he's he has a great sense of humor. A musical director, Bob Wilder, choreography by Suzette Hutchinson, and it's starring Matt Kohler as Seymour and Izzy Archer as Audrey. We have Heidi Crowley, and she's the voice of Audrey too. And the set is great. It's just a great show for this time of year. And the music is it's based on doo-wop and Motown. So you can't help but smile watching it. It's just really great. Ari Liu is playing the dentist, and so it's a great. And we have three incredible chorus young ladies, and I think that people are really gonna love it. We have a special appearance by Stella Wolf, who's playing Mushkin, and she's absolutely hysterical in the role. So I think people will really love it. It plays Friday and Saturday evenings at 7:30 and Sunday at 2. And we have 2 Thursday evening shows at 7, and they're on October 26th and November 9th.
And the full run is from when to when?
Till October 20th till November 26th.
Oh, great. So lots of
So
opportunities
There's
to see
lots
it.
of opportunities, but we hope everybody will come early and spread the good word, because it's that great a show. I think that people the sound is incredible. The band's great.
Wonderful.
So
Yeah.
the saxophone, keyboard, guitar, you know, and clarinet. So it's really
Terrific.
good.
It's a very upbeat show, despite its somewhat macabre
There are macabre
content.
dark elements,
But the music is so
It's so good,
fabulous.
and it's done in such a way that even a 4-year-old could see it
Well.
without getting too scared. I mean, it's off the cuff, you know, so it has
Okay.
something for everyone, and so I think that people really love it.
Yes, yes, good. So you don't have any parent advisory for it?
I don't really. I guess, you know, parents know their children, but I mean, the plant eats like fake body parts, but you can tell that they're very fake. But it's all done in such a way that it's a flesh-eating, it's a bloodthirsty plant. What can I say?
It
But
is,
it's really a
and a
great
very
show.
popular show, yes.
Very
Yes.
popular.
Okay, well, it sounds
So-
like a great start to your season.
Yeah, I think so. And then we have A Christmas Carol, which is a special production because it's adapted by Eric Hill, who's a phenomenal director. He works with the Berkshire Theatre Festival, and he adapted it, a very traditional adaptation from Charles Dickens. And we have a cast of 32 in the show. So it's going to be quite an extravaganza, and that goes from December 8th till the 31st.
Oh, right through Christmas.
Right into yeah.
Right
So
on-
and there'll be
onto New Year's
matinees.
Eve.
Yep, and there'll be
Okay.
matinees throughout the holiday season as well. So I think people will really love it. There's a lot of there's some Christmas caroling and some great actors in it. So I think that and all ages, which is
Yes.
our
Oh, yes.
tradition. You
Yeah.
know, we cast adults as adults and children as children, and plants and animals are up for grabs.
Yes,
But
yes, and that has been the tradition
Yes,
for years.
for
When it was
years.
the Harwich Junior
yeah,
Theater.
we're going into our 67th year.
Yeah, such a
And,
wonderful tradition.
And we're still the Harwich Junior Theater, but we put the umbrella Cape Cod Theater Company, so when tourists Google Cape Cod Theater, they'll see us right away rather than scrolling to the 8th page.
Right,
So,
right, and so that people understand
but we
it's not just children performing, not that there's anything wrong with that, mind you.
No, but
that there are adults as well, and it's something for everyone.
Well, I think that was a challenge for Washer Shores. Like when they saw Harwich Junior, they only thought it was, children performing. And unfortunately, we have so many talented young people,
Yes,
but
yes.
it's a very competitive environment, and we've always had multi-generational casts. I mean, it's been that tradition since the Exchange Hall, and
Yes.
that was Betty Bope, our founder's vision. So, it's important
Yes.
to let people know that.
It is. I think that it broadens the appeal.
Yeah, I
and
think
that's good.
so.
Good. So the next thing
Really
would be starting
rosy
in
in February.
rosy.
Well, our
Oh,
classes
such
will
fun.
start in late January. We have a wide range of classes for all ages. Barbara Johnson is teaching a Dream Theater class, which will be fantastic. That's more for, older, for adults. But through this class, she's an expressive therapist, and she has studied under Carla Estes, and so she really has a great sensitivity in sort of, taking people's dreams and interpreting them theatrically, and what the individual gains back from that knowledge and awareness can really make breakthroughs. So I think she's an incredibly intuitive person, and I think that will be interesting to see if we can get people to come take that. But then we also teach creative movement, creative drama, teen acting, musical theater, comedy, and a lot of other classes. So those are on our website at capecodtheatrecompany.org.
So with your classes, I'm sure they're a wonderful process, and is there often a performance component at the end? Or
We do a demonstration at
demonstration
the
of
end,
work,
and
yes.
it depends on the class, but often, like with musical theater, there'll be a whole, it'll be like a series of numbers that they do. But and then this Sunday, I'm performing Love Letters with Lou Maloof at his home in Chatham, and he has. There's going to be incredible savories and sweets and an assortment of fine wines, and he's like just incredible host and a great actor, and that benefit will support our scholarship program because we give a lot of scholarships. Last year we gave over $6,000 in scholarships to kids who wanted to study theater and were in financial need. So, so that's this Sunday, and you can find out about it on our website as well.
Is there still room for people
Yes,
in that?
there is, and it will be I mean, the meal alone is incredible. But he and his wife Carol are amazing hosts, and I'm looking forward to it. And
Sounds
it's
like
a
a lot of
beautiful
fun.
play, you know, Edward Albee. So.
Yes, yeah.
Then in February, Tamra Harper, our Director of Education, is directing Really Rosie, which is by Maurice Sendak, genius, and with music by Carole King.
Great.
So that's going to be fantastic. And then
That should be familiar to many people.
yes, and it's, you know, it's such a great show, and it's the music is terrific. And then in April, I'm directing Wolf Hollow, the award-winning book, Newbery Award-winning book by Lauren Walk, who runs the Cultural Center of Cape Cod. And, you know, I asked her, I said, I think this would be a great play. And so I asked Sue Kossoff, who is one of the veterans of our theater and also founded Wheelock Family Theater in Boston, to write the adaptation, and she did. And we just had a reading last week at the Cultural Center, and people loved it. And so I'm very excited about that. It's such an important story.
It is. It's a coming-of-age story.
It is a coming-of-age story. But it's interesting because, you know, it's in the young adult market, but I think every adult would want to read it because it's sort of like, it has the feeling, they say, of To Kill a Mockingbird. But it really takes you into a very specific time and place, and the themes are universal to this day. So when it comes to bullying and,
exactly.
you know, power dynamics in relationships. It's,
and peer pressure.
and peer pressure and friendship across the generations, you know.
Yes.
And then we're bringing back Wrinkles in May, which was a big hit last year, that Naomi Turner and Wilderness Fairchild, Malcolm Granger wrote, Jason Howland music, and I directed. So that was very popular, and we'll bring that back for May. So it's quite a year we have.
It sounds like a wonderful year. Lots to
Thank
look
you.
forward to. And
Yes.
the classes, people can sign up for classes now,
Yes.
is that right?
Well, we'll have the classes, we'll start signing up in early December, and those will start late January. But if you want to find out about what we're offering, that will be that's on the website.
That's on the website now. Okay.
And you can tell by what we have in the fall what's coming up. So
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have classes running now.
yes,
And it's a whole new bunch
we have about
starting.
50 students right now, which is really great.
Yeah, so it's very, very busy all the time then.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because, you know, the young people that come through from a young age, and even, you know, they run our lights and our sound. We train them in technical theater as well as performing, and they move on. They go to college. They get into great schools, and then, you know, a whole new crop come through. And it, you know, I've been with the theater for so many years now. It's amazing to see the achievements of our alumni. I mean,
Must be very heartwarming.
it is. I mean, it sort of blows my mind, really. I mean, one of our stage managers and actresses who is now at NYU in Tisch School in Stage Management, she's working as the intern for Bespoke Theatricals and Hamilton Company Management. So it's very exciting. And talking about that, we have an auction coming up in November, and we have Hamilton tickets and Broadway shows and weeks in Naples, Florida, and all sorts of things. So that's going to be on our website, and there'll be a link to it. But some really incredible prizes.
Is that an online auction?
It's an online auction.
Okay.
And then we also have the Jester Jackpot.
What is
and
the
that
Chester
is,
jackpot?
it's a raffle, and next August we'll give away $20,000 in prizes. We have to sell 5,000 tickets, and we're well on our way. And so, and the odds are better for this raffle than for any lottery. So I hope everybody in Harwich will buy a ticket. You know, and there'll be one $10,000 prize, a $5,000 prize, and a few
Okay.
$2,500 prizes. Yeah. So
And that's all on your website as well? the
that's on our
information for that?
website. I'm selling tickets, so if anybody wants to buy a ticket from me, they can.
Okay. And you presumably also have them offered
At
the
the
shows?
theater, yes. I'll
Yes,
be
okay.
selling them at the theater.
Okay, great.
So.
Well, lots of good things coming up, and it was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And delighted to hear that the theater sounds like it's going strong.
It is going strong. We've
Yeah.
had a lot of support from great people and great foundations.
Great.
And, you know, but it's the theater is the kind of thing you have to keep
on
going.
working. Yep, you do.
It doesn't, you can't
do.
rest on your last hit.
You can't rest
So-
on your laurels, as
No,
they say.
you can't.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Well,
Well,
very
thank
nice
you.
to meet you, Nina. Thanks
nice
so
to
much for
meet
coming
you.
in.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, that was a great interview because
Yes.
it's nice to see the theater it's really vibrant. And
Yes.
this show is probably one of the best shows to go see.
Oh, it's such a fun show.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to hear that Tammy Hopper is back and things are
yeah,
pumping
and
along for them, and the fundraising efforts, I think,
the
sound like a lot
fundraising
of
efforts
fun.
sound exciting.
Yes,
they really
do.
do. Some
They
great
do.
opportunities
Yes.
to actually win some great
Yeah,
prizes.
yeah.
So
We'll
people
have
need
to get online, Jack.
Yeah, we'll have to get online, get on that auction. That's for sure.
right. And the Chester jackpot, too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's really great, and it's nice to see that happening there.
Yeah,
It
I'm
really
happy
is.
for them.
Yes. Okay. You have a couple of things there, Eileen.
Yes, I do, and they're both November dates, but as I mentioned, November is only a few weeks away, folks, so get out your pen and your paper, and here are the dates. The Harwich United Methodist Church will have its annual turkey dinner. I can't believe we're talking about turkey dinners.
Oh my goodness.
For $12 on Saturday, November 4th, starting at 5 p.m. Children 12 and under will only be $6. And their fellowship hall, located at 1 Church Street, Harwich, is where it will be held. And if you would like to get more information, you can call Carl Young at 508-432-3734. And that's the Harwich United Methodist Church Annual Turkey Dinner on Saturday, November 4th, starting at 5:30.
Very good.
Yes.
It sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another November date is the Harvest Bazaar being put on at the Holy Trinity Parish Church Hall on Saturday, November 11th. And it will be held from 9:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. And of course, the Holy Trinity Church Hall is located on Route 28 in West Harwich. And there will be a Christmas room, baked goods, which are always, people line up to get in and get the baked goods. If you get there a few minutes after it opens, you might not have too much luck. Jewelry and accessories, regifting table, Chinese auction, handmade and craft items, wonderful raffles, attic treasures, and much more. So please put it on your calendar and go on Saturday, November 11th from 9:30 to 3:30. Go in and browse the great buys, and you can stay for lunch. They have a wonderful lunch, too, that they provide.
They do, and that
Yes.
Chinese auction every year is quite good. There's a
Yes,
lot of
we've done
opportunity.
well
Yeah,
at it over
yeah,
the
we
years.
have over the years. We've done very well. So
Yes, we have.
great opportunity there as well.
Yes.
I know a lot of you that are watching are probably folks that receive Medicare. I know we do.
Yes, we do.
And the open enrollment time is coming around, and there's going to be a presentation. You know, you need to be well informed if you have to make some decisions concerning Medicare. This is going to be presented by Sheila Curtis, the Shine Coordinator. And this is going to take place on Monday, October 30th at 1 p.m. right here at the Community Center. You should not wait on you making your decisions as far as what to do with Medicare. Pre-registration is required for this. You can call the Harwich COA at 508-430-7550 to register. Medicare plans do change every year. You know, they're constantly tweaking it, and
Yes.
constantly. And you know, many times there's a lot to read, but it's very nice if you can go and be well informed by somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Yes, and they can counsel you.
And Sheila really does. So it's a good opportunity. So get there. This presentation is for Medicare beneficiaries, family members, caregivers, caseworkers, and representatives. So the open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. So you want to make sure that you are well informed before you make any decisions. Again, that's Monday, October 30th at 1 p.m. at the Harwich Community Center. And just as an aside, new Medicare cards are going to be coming out next year.
Yes.
Finally, they're going to take your Social Security number off the Medicare cards and give you a random number. This is something that should have happened a long time ago, and they're finally doing it.
Yes.
So,
a lot of people have complained, including you.
including me. Did I ever?
Yes,
I
you
called my
did.
representative and said, when are they going to do this? You should not have your Social Security number on there, and they're going to finally take it off, and that'll be great.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. So, our last spot for today, Chris Clark, of course, our town administrator, brings us up to date periodically on what's going on. So let's take a look at that right now with our town administrator's address.
Hi, I'm Christopher Clark, Town Administrator for the Town of Harwich. I thought I would dedicate another one of these meetings to kind of explaining the ballot question for the Cape Cod Tech School. I know it's a little bit of a confusing process, and I'd like to jokingly say that there's not anything you can think of that there's not a state regulation that applies to it. So this is no exception. So I thought what I would do, just for clarity's sake, is kind of walk through again, and actually this time I have the ballots themselves for what they'll look like, and just take a few minutes to walk people through. So I think a lot of folks know, or hopefully you know, that the Cape Cod Tech has gone through a process. They've done a feasibility study, they've now done design plans, and they've come up with a recommendation that is going to be their project and what will be funded. Just a little bit by way of background, I do sit on the school building committee, so I've had an opportunity to be privy to that discussion. Really, in a nutshell, the best way to visualize this, or the best way to describe it, is that they went in, the school building committee, they looked at the project, they looked at the needs, the program, the age of the building, the functionality of the building. And what they came out with was an initial determination that the project looked like a new school was going to be about $140 million, and a renovation would be about $125. And after doing due diligence and doing the work and deciding to put a new school on the same site, that the cost of that new school came down to $128 million. So now the committee and the school committee had the issue of, do you build new, or do you have a period of disruption where you have a lot of portable classrooms, you have a period of uncertainty in the school system for maybe a couple years, that what made more sense? And the school committee and the school building committee said that we might as well start from a new product, a new building, so that way we get better life out of it and built to standards that exist today. So to that end, and pursuant to their governing document, that they have a process in which I believe there's 12 towns that are part of the district. All 12 towns on October 24th will be asked to vote on one question. And that question is, do you agree with allowing for the school committee to construct a building for $128 million on the existing site? And I'm going to hold this up. The ballot itself will be gray, and as you can see, it has on here, maybe you can't see, so I won't presume, that each of the towns are listed, and our portion of that $128 million is $10,721,000. So the overall ballot that authorizes the school tech, the Cape Tech School Committee to go forward with the project is the first ballot for, actually the ballot that most people will have. So in our case, our portion of that is $10,721,000. If all the towns or some of the towns vote it down and some of the towns vote favorably, it takes the cumulative total. So if the cumulative total for the project is favorable, so 50% plus 1, then the project goes forward. The project is adopted. Now, what does that mean specifically for the town of Harwich? I think folks have been aware and are very familiar with that we have debt exclusions. When we have projects that are too big to do, we borrow money and then we go out and ask the voters to cover that. Well, in Harwich, the Board of Selectmen had the foresight to look and authorize for a ballot to be put forth, a second ballot that will be on for October 24th at the same hours. I believe the hours are 12 to 8, 12 in the afternoon to 8 at night. And in this ballot, this is short enough, so I am going to read it. Shall the town of Harwich be allowed to exempt from the provisions of Proposition 2 1/2, so-called, the amounts required to pay the town's allocable share of the bond issue by the Cape Cod Regional Technical High School for the purposes of paying the cost of designing, constructing, and originally equipping and furnishing a new district high school to be located at 351 Pleasant Lake Ave, Harwich, including the payment of all costs. So I think last time, and that ballot for us is going to be a white ballot. So for town of Harwich residents who choose to vote on that day, you have two choices that are on the same project. The gray ballot is, do you believe that the new school should be constructed? So that's the gray ballot. The town of Harwich ballot is, okay, if the system decides to go ahead and approve the school, our assessment is $10,721,000. We don't have the financial ability to just pay for that within Proposition 2 1/2. So we do need to have a debt exclusion. This debt exclusion is a little bit different because there's a debt exclusion regarding our assessment that we receive from Cape Cod Regional Technical High School. So if our assessment now is about $1.3 million, and this is about $675,000 a year for 30 years, then that additional assessment goes from 1.3 to $2 million. So we have the 1.3, if you would, kind of built into the base budget. We don't have the 700,000 built in, or the 675. So this is the ballot, our ballot, which is only in Harwich, that will allow for residents to say, yes, we believe in the project, so it's almost like committing to building a house, and then here's the mortgage payment for how we're actually going to pay for that house to be paid off. So it is a debt exclusion, so at the end of that 30-year borrowing, when that $675,000, the last payment falls off, then that tax obligation and that additional tax revenue goes away. So it is a little bit confusing. I wish we could have had one ballot that had both, but pursuant to state law, it requires that the ballot for the school be separate and the question be separate about, do you believe in the project or not, or want to go forward with the project or not. And then the second one, which we've added, is how do we pay for it here in Harwich? So the white ballot is the how do we pay for it, and it would be above and beyond Proposition 2 1/2, so we would do an additional assessment, as we've indicated previously on these videos. So I just hopefully That's a simpler way for folks to understand. I appreciate having the opportunity now to have the ballot. I certainly see the Cape Cod Regional Tech, a lot of material in there. They're trying to explain the project. And really, the second one is for us, how we're going to pay for it. So hopefully, I did get the high sign that I think we're about 8 minutes in. So I try to keep these to about 5 to 10. So I think I'm somewhat in the range. But that's what's going on, and on October 24th, I always ask whether you are in favor of the project or opposed to the project. Please do your civic duty and go out and vote. I think it's important for the community at large to participate in their democracy. So Christopher Clark, thank you for your time and attention.
Well, we really appreciate Chris taking the time to bring us all up to date, and great report as always.
Yes, and I hope you've enjoyed all of the information that you've been given.
Yeah, that's
And-
our show for this week.
Yes.
And, you know, on behalf of all of us here at Channel 18, we really appreciate you tuning in.
Yes, and please take advantage of the things that we told you about.
All right,
that are
very
going
good.
on.
And take care. See you next week,
Bye-bye.
hopefully. Bye-bye for now.